Buddha once said, "If a man is shot by a poisoned arrow, do not ask who shot it or where it came from. Pull it out first. You may die before you find the answer." Why is it always me? Have you ever caught yourself thinking that? You work as hard as you possibly can, and nothing comes of it. A relationship you spent years protecting falls apart overnight. Your body keeps sending you signals you don't know how to read. And no matter what you try, there are days when the heaviness just won't lift. In moments like that, we reach for something. A reason. A meaning. We tell ourselves, if I could just understand why this is happening to me, I could accept it. If I could find the meaning in this pain, I could bear it. So we keep searching, keep asking. But the Buddha said this: if you've been shot by a poisoned arrow, pull it out first. While you're busy asking who shot it, what kind of bow they used, and where they were standing, you will die. Today I want to share a conversation that happened 2,500 years ago between a student who demanded answers and a teacher who refused to give them. The Buddha didn't answer his students' questions, but in that silence, in that deliberate refusal, there was a wisdom about suffering deeper than any answer could have been. It was around 2,500 years ago. Among the Buddhist students was a man known for his sharp, restless mind. He loved diving into the deep questions, the ones with no easy floor, and for a long time, one particular frustration had been building inside him. He would sit in the shade of a tree and turn these questions over and over. Is the universe eternal, or does it have an end? Does the soul continue after death, or does it simply vanish? Are the body and the soul the same thing, or are they separate? Whenever he or the other students raised these questions, the Buddha would go quiet, or he would say gently but firmly, "These are not questions I will answer," and move on. And this man had grown tired of it. It felt like being ignored, like being dismissed. So one day he made up his mind. He walked to where the Buddha was sitting and said, "Teacher, if you will not answer my questions today, I cannot continue this practice. I will leave." It was a firm ultimatum. Almost a kind of threat, really, the way we sometimes back someone into a corner when we're desperate for a response. The Buddha looked at him calmly and said, "Did I ever promise you that I would answer such questions when you came to study with me?" The man had nothing to say. The Buddha continued, "People who come to study do not arrive saying, 'I'll only begin if you first tell me whether the universe is eternal.' And yet here you are, making exactly that demand." Then the Buddha spoke slowly and began to tell a story. Imagine a man who has been shot by a poisoned arrow. His friends rush to pull it out, but he stops them. "Wait," he says, "first I need to know, who shot this arrow? What is his family background? Is he tall or short? What color is his skin? What kind of bow did he use? What kind of feathers are on this arrow?" He insists on answers before he'll allow anyone to help him. The Buddha paused. "Tell me, would that man still be alive by the time all his questions were answered?" The student went still. "That is what you are doing right now. You say you cannot practice until you know whether the universe is eternal. But while you wait for that answer, you grow old, you fall ill, and eventually you die. The suffering is here, now. The question worth asking is not what caused this arrow to fly. The question worth asking is, how do I live with this arrow in me?" The Buddha's voice never rose. There was no frustration in it, no impatience. He simply pointed, directly, quietly, at the reality of this moment. So what was the Buddha actually saying in this story? The first thing he was pointing to: don't spend your life on questions that have no answer. Is the universe eternal? What happens after death? These are not questions human beings can resolve, no matter how long or how brilliantly they think about them. The Buddha called these questions unanswered, not because he was hiding something, but because he had made a conscious choice not to engage with them. And his reason was straightforward. The answers, even if they could be found, would not reduce a single moment of your suffering. Now here's the thing. Why is this happening to me isn't so different from those questions. Searching for the meaning of your suffering can become exactly like studying the arrow while the poison spreads. You're examining it, turning it over, looking at every angle, and all the while something inside you is quietly being worn down. By the time you look up, you realize you've spent months, maybe years, and you're more exhausted than when you started. The second thing the Buddha was pointing to: turn toward the suffering that is actually here. This is not ignore your pain, it's almost the opposite. The Buddha is asking you to be honest with it. Stop asking whether this pain has meaning, and start asking, how do I be with this pain today? In Buddhism, there is a word, dukkha, which is usually translated as suffering, but it means something closer to the way things refuse to go the way we want. Life is full of that. Always has been. The Buddha didn't ask us to pretend otherwise, he asked us to look it in the eye. And the third thing, the question itself can be changed. When we ask why me over and over, the mind folds inward, it contracts. But when we shift to what is one thing I can do right now in this, something opens just slightly. The weight doesn't disappear, but there is direction again. A next step becomes visible. Whether or not suffering has meaning, that may never be knowable. But how you choose to be inside your suffering, that is yours to decide. That, I think, is the warmth the Buddha was holding in his silence. So, how does this actually live in the middle of an ordinary week? Think about work for a moment. A project you poured months into gets canceled with one email. A manager says something unfair and you carry it home. You keep giving your best, and the room stays silent. In those moments, so many of us find ourselves in the same loop late at night, lying in the dark, replaying it. If only I'd handled that differently. If that person weren't there, how did it come to this? The questions spiral, but they land nowhere. And somehow the morning finds you more tired than the night did. That is the arrow, still inside. Pulling the arrow out doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means shifting the question from why did this happen to me, to what is one small thing I can do tomorrow? Just one thing. That shift alone changes the weight of the night. The same is true in relationships. When someone we trusted says something that cuts deep, we go looking for meaning. What did they really mean? Why would they say that? What is wrong with me that this keeps happening? But the wound is already there. It exists. And what it needs isn't a verdict, it needs tending. Turning the question on yourself, why am I so broken, so not enough, is also leaving the arrow in. Those questions have no bottom, they will not heal the wound. They will only make the room darker. The first step toward pulling the arrow out is something small. Give yourself permission to rest tonight. Put on a song that feels like kindness. Wrap your hands around something warm. Let yourself talk to someone you trust. Not to find answers, but just to not be alone with it for a while. Small things, but they are the beginning of healing. Parenting carries this same weight, in its own way. When a child is struggling, a parent's mind almost immediately reaches for cause and meaning. What went wrong? Was it something I did? Something I failed to do? And while reflection has its place, when we fall into a loop of self-blame, we stop seeing the child in front of us. We stop seeing what they actually need, right now from us. What does my child need from me today? That question is alive. It moves. It points somewhere. Stopping the search for meaning is not the same as abandoning your pain. It means acknowledging the pain fully, and then from inside it looking for the one next step. That, I believe, is what the Buddha was offering us through that story. Before we close today, here is the one thing I hope you carry with you. You do not have to know why you are suffering. Even the Buddha left certain questions unanswered. That wasn't weakness. It was honesty. He understood that building an answer where none exists does not set anyone free. Looking directly at what is real right now, that is what actually helps. If you are in pain right now, that pain is real. The part of you that wants it to be recognized, that is real too. The part of you that wants meaning because meaning would make it bearable, that is completely human and completely valid. But just for tonight, try setting the why question gently to one side, and ask this instead. What is one small thing I can do to be a little kinder to myself this evening? Pulling out the arrow doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be a breakthrough. It can be as quiet as one slow breath in and one slow breath out. That is enough to slow the spread, even a little. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that whatever you're carrying right now, you find the path through it just a little lighter tonight.